My Steelers won. My Steelers did what needed to be done, and they won the game. And I want to say, I am very proud of Mike Tomlin because I called him out last week, and I was like, this is your team. This is your job. Get this figured out. Get this offense going. Do something. And you know what? He did something, and it looked good. It didn't look great, but it looked good. We won the game. I don't expect us to win perfect every single week. But what I do expect us to do is to get better. Every week isn't going to be perfect. Matter of fact, no week is probably ever going to be perfect. But I did see some improvement. I did see some things that we're working on. And so I'm happy about that. So kudos to Mike Tomlin for doing what he needs to do. Kudos to the team for coming together, looking a little bit better, making some things make sense for me. The other thing I want to say, and I'll say this before I get started, is this Steelers team is averaging 20.7 points a game. That is higher than we have averaged in 3 years. 20.7 points a game is higher than we have averaged in 3 years, and I'm proud of this team. And I'm okay being proud of this team, and I'm okay making small little gestures to get to be better. And so you know what? Let me just get into this video. One thing I will say about football is it's like putting a puzzle piece together, but you have 4 to 5 months to put the puzzle piece together. And that is currently what we're doing. We are putting together a puzzle because some weeks we do this really well. Some weeks we do that really well. We're not really sure what we're going to do. We're not really sure where we're at. We're not really sure. And so we're still trying to put it together. And you know what? I'm along for the ride. I'm going to enjoy the wins. I'm going to enjoy the losses in the aspect of now that we see what we're doing in these losses, I hope we get better. And so I'm just going to ride it out. This is football. This is what it's all about. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be exactly how I want it to be. But I care about when you win. When you win, I really care about that. However, being who I am still going to give the team the same energy that I give them no matter what, because that is what I do. I don't care if you win or you lose. I am still looking at the game, and I'm still going to give my opinions on the game based on what I'm seeing and based on how I feel. So the good news is, though, is we won. So let me get into the things that I loved. The things that I loved, we scored more than 30 points. We scored more than 30 points. And you know what? I am almost to the point where I will not cheer every time we score a touchdown. Because for so long, it's been one of those things where it's like it doesn't really happen very often. So when it happens, you have to cheer and clap and do all the things. I'm kind of getting to the point where maybe here soon I won't be so crazy over a touchdown, but we'll see what happens. The other thing I want to say, there's a couple of players I want to give shout outs to. Before I jumble all those players together, here's the thing. TJ Watt is always the answer. TJ Watt is the best player on the Steelers team, and it's not even close. TJ Watt needs his own segment, and I could talk about him for 15 minutes and how great he is. So just because he is not going to be on the list of people and names that I just named, just know that every game he shows up. He's a baked-in importance player. So I'm not going to say his name, but the players I'm going to say is Justin Fields showed up today. God help him. He's the only red zone offense we have. I'll get to that later. Najee Harris showed up today. Kudos to Najee. Patrick Queen showed up today. Much respect to Patrick Queen. And the other thing is Chris Boswell. Like this team, shout out to Chris Boswell. You know what? Shout out to Chris Boswell because he might be the second best player on this football team, but shout out to Chris Boswell. The other thing I want to say is the defensive line got a holding call. Now, granted, it was only one, but you know what? I don't care. We got a holding call. I will accept it. I'm not going to complain that we got a holding call. The other thing I want to mention here is that defense is stepping up. The defense is doing what the defense does. The defense is so stable and so consistent. And you know what? Good for them. I'm very excited to keep seeing them remain consistent, and I'm seeing other players really step in and do their thing, and that is also exciting to see. Did I say that we scored 30 points? This Pittsburgh Steelers scored 30 points on offense. The defense didn't even score. The offense scored points. This is masterful. The other thing I want to give a shout out to is special teams. Shout out to special teams because special teams is one of those positions on a football team that doesn't always get the credit, but whenever they're bad, everybody knows that they're bad. Shout out to them because not only do they have Chris Boswell, but they have now blocked a field goal in the last game against Dallas, and then this game they blocked a punt. So shout out to that special teams group. The thing I don't understand, but whatever, and it honestly irks my freaking brain. Oh my gosh. The H-back, the tosses, is it an H-back toss? The toss to the running back 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Why are we running that play? Why are we doing it? And for those of you that might just watch highlights, you will watch a highlight and you will see that one of those plays worked. Let me tell you something. The other ones didn't work. And they didn't work. I don't know why that play is in our playbook. Oh my gosh, it grinds my gears. It grinds my gears. But I'm going to let it go. I'm going to move on. But every time I see this offense line up and pitch the ball, I lose my crap. I'm not going to lie. But oh my God, whatever. I'm just going to get off the soapbox, but that is my whatever. I'm going to let it go. The things I hated, our red zone offense is non-existent besides Justin Fields. Our red zone offense is this. We get the play call in, we look, we scan the field. Justin Fields is like, now I'm not going to do that play. I'm just going to run it in myself. That is the Steelers red zone offense. And you know what? If it's working, it's working. However, it's not sustainable. I'm very aware it's not sustainable. I don't know if the play call is bad. I don't know if Justin Fields isn't reading right. I don't know if people aren't getting open. I don't know if our offensive line, I don't know what the problem is. That's the thing with football, is when things go wrong or when you just don't know really what the issue is because you never really know what's called. All I know is I'm tired of seeing it. I hope it gets better. The other thing I hated, penalties. And I'm starting to realize that we're going to get penalties, right? Like, I got it. It is a football game. We're going to get penalties. But false starts and holds and things that don't even impact the play, why? Why are we false starting? Why are you holding and nothing that you're doing is impacting the play? Why is this happening? I'm tired of some of these penalties. It's frustrating to me. I believe we had 3 holding penalties within the first half, if not this. It doesn't matter when we got them. I'm just tired of seeing them. I wish the holding penalties would go away. That would be amazing. So there was 2 series that sticks out to me because one of the things that I pride myself on is not celebrating something in a win that I wouldn't like in a loss, and calling out things that I feel like are bad football. And so I'm going to read to you 2 series, and this is what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't watch the Steelers as much as intently as I do, these are the things that happen in all football games where I feel like the coaches fall in love with their playbooks and they're not paying attention to what's going on in the game. So here's the first one. So we get a turnover. We didn't get anything on first down. We threw the ball down the field to Calvin Austin, got a first down. Then the very next play, we run a pitch to the right, okay? It gets us 7 yards. So we had 2 pitch plays, the pitch plays I hate, that it resulted into a large gain. This was the first one. The other one was the Najee Harris touchdown. But so then we pitch it to the right for 7 yards. Okay, that's on first down. Second play, you know what we do on second down? We do the exact same play on second down that we did on first down. The exact same play. So we got 7 yards, and then we do the exact same play, and then we use yards. Then the next play is a penalty, delay of game. And so now we're at 3rd and 12. We're at 3rd and 12, and here's my issue with being 3rd and 12. Second down, why did we run the ball? Why was that the exact same play we just called? If you're going to run the ball again, at least try it to the other side. Like, why are we calling the same play? So then it's 3rd down, and the next play is a pass play, and all of our receivers, it didn't look like on TV any of them went past the first down marker. None of them ran past the first down marker. So we throw a little dump off pass and we don't get the first down. Okay, whatever. Cool. Whatever. So then there's another possession, and then this is what happens. So we throw the ball down the field. Pickens catches the ball down the field. We're on the 7. Great. So we throw to Pickens to get down there. Sounds good. But the problem with this is I believe there's like 4 minutes left in the game. So you already get down the field. You're trying to drain the clock, right? Because there's 4 minutes left in the game. You don't need to score here. You're already up by a lot. So this is what we do. So the very next play, we throw again to George Pickens. And what does that do? It stops the clock. Why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we throwing the ball at all? Run the ball. The game is over. Why are we running the ball? But okay, people will say, maybe you want to get George Pickens involved. Maybe you want to do whatever. Okay, cool, whatever. So the clock stops. So the next down, you want to know what we do? On the next down, we run the ball to a guy who just got on the Steelers team from the practice squad. So we have Najee Harris, who's having a great game, and we decide to run the ball with the guy that just came up from the practice squad. And you know what the guy does? He runs out of bounds. That is unacceptable. So we have now stopped the clock on 2 consecutive plays back to back to back when we're going to win the game, when we're up by a lot, and we're on the 7. This is dumb. This is actually very dumb football. We could have ran a minute off the clock, but we didn't because we're running plays and we have guys in the game that haven't even been on the starting roster when we have our running back who is playing the game of his life. So a game of his life is kind of dramatic. My point in saying this is dumb. This is offensive coordinators falling in love with their play calling. They're not paying attention to the game. Then what happens on the next third down? So on third down, Justin Fields was going to throw the ball again. Justin Fields was going to throw the ball again on third down, and we already have the game won. What happens? Terrible play gets called. I don't even know what the play call is. Looks terrible. Justin Fields sees nobody. Justin Fields has to take the sack. We get a field goal. My problem with the sequences, and these are the things that come back to bite you in close games. Terrible, 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 terrible clock management. Terrible, terrible, terrible way of calling offensive plays. These things frustrate me. They absolutely, positively frustrate me. And it doesn't just happen in the Steelers games. It happens with Colorado. It happens with Texas. It happens with all of these coaches because they fall in love with their playbooks, and I absolutely, positively hate it. The random things I'll just throw out here is, the first one is, I feel like this is like our 3rd straight game or our 4th straight game. And the first possession of the game, the other team scores against this defense. And it's kind of a weird thing that usually doesn't happen, but it's happening. So I'm calling it out. I believe this is the 4th straight game where teams have scored on their opening possession. And granted, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, but I just don't like it. I just don't love it. The other thing I don't love, and it's kind of random, is I hate those like trash touchdowns, like the little touchdowns that like really don't matter, but they will show up in the stats because they have to show up in the stats because it happened. But like, it really doesn't matter. It wasn't going to change the impact of the game. And I just hate those things, but whatever. It is what it is. The Steelers are 4-2. I'm excited to be 4-2. We play on Sunday night. I don't like Sunday night games, but here we are. And listen, at the end of the day, we are where we want to be, right? We are winning more games than we're losing. We're making some progress on a lot of things. And so it just is what it is. We won the game. I'll get off the soapbox. I hope we come out prepared on Sunday. I hope this offense that's kind of like getting started and getting going and throwing the ball down the field, I hope they show up on Sunday night. And I hope I just keep seeing this team progress because I really, 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 really need that. But as I end all my Steelers videos, well, I'm not going to end this video. I'm going to actually rant on the other side of this. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all those things. I'm about to rant. If you like to hear me rant, continue to listen. If not, you can end it here. I don't advise that. You should listen to me rant. But anyways, here we go.
The things I'm keeping an eye on is this offensive line. So our center went down at the end of this game. I don't know, as the making of this video, what's happening or how bad the injury is, but that would be the 4th starter that has gone down on this offensive line. So my hope is it's nothing serious. My hope is he'll be ready to play on Sunday. I just don't know, so I'm calling that out here as something that I'm keeping an eye out on. The other thing I'm keeping an eye out on is this offense. This offense. I don't know what this offense is yet. We don't have an identity yet. I don't know what Arthur Smith is doing yet because some of these play callings I don't understand. And yes, I took a lot of time going through 2 series that we had in the game because but the truth is there's actually 2 other series that I wrote down. I was taking notes during the game. That is making me question some of these offensive play calls. Again, I am watching from home. I'm not there. I don't know what was called. I'm not a coach. All those things. I'm just a fan. And as a fan, I'm giving my opinion that sometimes when I see some of these play calls, I am like, what the F is going on? Because what I'm seeing at home is telling us we should do one thing and then we go away from it. So I don't understand it and I hope we get better. Then I just want to end this video by saying shout out to me because I am losing weight. I'm on this like weight loss journey, this fitness journey. And as I'm looking at my neck, it looks so slim. This shirt looks good. Everything just looks good. Everything's like, the truth is not everything is fitting. It just kind of looks good. But everything's not fitting as good as you think it is because a lot of my clothes are starting to fall off me and they're all loose and they're doing all these things. So I just want to give myself a shout out. So shout out to my Steelers for winning this game and shout out to me for continuing to get this body toned and get myself together. So thank you for being here. Let's see what happens next week. As always, here we go.